Alright, what is up, you beautiful people, and welcome back to another Direct Strike Weekly Brawl tier list. We are playing some Abathur as per usual. We're joined here by a couple of lasagna. And, is it still the Swarm? No, the Swarm has changed his name to just Name, so we're joined here by Name. Let's see. Brawl modifiers, our base structures have twice as much life, so the games are going to be a little bit longer this time. But, oh, actually, maybe not. They have less attack speed. Okay. Abathur. What am I gonna do? Probably fire. Let's go with fire. I'm gonna go with fire. Get that adaptive plating so we're a little bit thicker. Against Swan. What's happening? Shadow on Karax? Not too bad. Not too bad on ground and mirages. It's actually not too bad against like not too bad for literally everything Karax has, except for carriers. I think carriers are not that great. Let's see, boom, boom, boom. So fire is gonna be really helpful for my queens. Okay.
We require more minerals.
I might. Oh wait, Swan's got access to mutas. I mean not mutas, muta slayers, I should say. In the form of science vessels. Those are gonna hurt a bit. Oh my god, it's 2 swans. It's double swan. What does it mean? Okay. Got a bad mechanical transfusion here. Get that. But my roaches are just gonna mess up any hellbats he's got. Oh man. Look at that roach count. Oh, but it is getting focused down though. That single roach there. I don't know, the fire really helps because you can, as Abathur, you can spam so many small dudes. And queens definitely have some DPS issues, but with fire, it kind of helps that out. So, not too bad. I wish I was Stukov, though. Man, I wish Tia would stop teasing us with this baby aura. Give me 4 aura, or give me death, boys. I think I might actually get a few more queens here. But eventually, I think we're going to have to move up to Brutalist. We're going to have to move up to Brutalist tech. We do have an Observer here, so that's pretty good. Hopefully the Observer follows. Oh my god, Observer, please. Okay. I'm going to get Tunneling Claws here. I'm going to need a few more Roaches there. I'm going to drop a Mend here so we can stay alive. For my queens to come and mend them. There we go, queens. Goliaths are no match for roaches because the roaches just reduce their attack speed and Goliaths don't have a lot of health to start with. And there we go. Gary. Also no match for my fire queens. Actually, I might just be able to spam queens and win. It might actually be OP. Because queens can resist science vessels for a long time as well if they drop the radiate and stuff. Like science vessels got nothing on queens. Like, structures with half attack speed is actually really bad, because they can't clean up the mess that gets left behind too well. And well, there's quite a big mess being left behind here. So, yeah. But hey, fire's pretty good. Oh my god, I got a stuffy nose. Why is this happening? Blech. Anyways, probably don't need ravagers actually. Let's see. Queens are getting focused down a little bit by that laser beam. I think I just need some Vipers on top of my queens, and we should be fine. I don't know. That was a little bit bad. Anyways. Just add a few more roaches here. Okay, I think I gotta respect the Ravagers, boys. Gotta respect the Ravagers. I'm gonna add a few Ravagers into our comp here. There we go. I'll just add them in like that. We're just gonna come in a line. Let's see. I'm gonna get the Corrosive Bile. Let me blow the Bile Ducts here so you can see. So you can just get some bigger damage on here. And then get the Potent Bile here. See, I don't know. There we go. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. That's too good here, but oh, the Ravagers are moving forward. Oops. Okay, whatever, it's fine. It's fine. Wildcard is gonna probably join us here. Oh, come on, Queens. Clean up that cannon. I know you guys can do it. It's got twice as much life as it normally does, but just clean it up, boys. There we go. I should just greed gas over here. I'm gonna drop a little scan here so we can see laser beam being repositioned. The laser beam's also getting taken out here. Yeah, I'm gonna greed gas. Screw it, boys. Greed gas. I'm gonna slam an overseer. And then whatever. Swan really needs some tanks. If you're against Abathur, you have to get tanks. Just cause like your Goliath. Yeah, there's a tank. And into that, I'm just gonna go for Vipers, and that's the end of Swan, boys. I'm just gonna go tier 3, get some Vipers. We're in no rush to really like push it up, like push it up real fast. But you know, we don't have to worry about it. Also, I'm gonna need Brutalisk, anyways. The tank against Stetman would last a long time due to Bastion. Nah, sap reduces the ability to stacks. That's the thing, like if you stack super hard this week, like it's just almost impossible to come back. And my Overseer is somehow missing in action. Did it die? It must have died. Anyways, I'm gonna drop a mend here. You can see the Nexus has like baby attack speed right now. Yep. Swarm and stack. I mean, we're about to just kill it. Those Diamondbacks. That's it, boys. Honestly, this Abathur game was so short and unsatisfying, we're going to go for a second run. Well, it was satisfying in the sense that we just completely slapped Swan around. Yeah, took a lot of damage, but that's the Abathur classic. Queens are like not nearly as good as Rainer medics, but you know, they're still quite potent if they if your units don't get one shot. So yeah, okay, let's go for round 2, and then we'll go for the tier list. Back this time we're joined by Wildcard instead of name. I'm gonna send out some send out some roaches. I'll probably get a third one out here. Maybe I can get a queen instead. Nah. Actually, I could get a queen. Let's do it. Double roach and a queen. Pretty solid opener. What do we got here? We got blood. We also got water. What's the cooldown on this thing? I don't need water for that. I think I might just go blood because I'm gonna be spamming a lot of guys. Adaptive plating. Gonna get that first. We're gonna need the Hydra Iotic Bile here. It's an Arcanist, boys. Oh. I'm gonna drop a mend here so we can win. I'm gonna go blood. I know normally with Abathur you kind of want to go something like cooldown reduction because you got a lot of ravager tech and all that stuff, but sorry. Blech. Got some thick civs. Ooh, got some spine crawlers. Oh man, got some life. We got our baby aura. We're just being teased, boys. Like, can we get aura brawls back for Christmas? I don't even know, boys. I missed them. I know Tia's working on Zeratul, but at least he can just you know, make it so that this week is you know, a little spicier. Like every month, have one spicy week, you know. But anyways, oh wait, I can't rely on my queens too heavily because they're gonna get feedback. Actually, it's not gonna be too bad. If the Zealots start spinning though, that's gonna be bad because they'll start spinning on my roaches really heavily. And these Zealots actually get around adaptive plating really nicely because they have such high attack damage. They really don't care. And I also realized that these Zealots attack a lot faster than Artanis' Zealots normally in co-op. Artanis' Zealots normally in co-op have 1.2 attack speed. So I don't know if it's because the co-op game mode is just a little bit slower compared to this. But yeah, like the Zealots here attack hella fast. There we go. I just need more roaches. But I think what I'll have to do is start scaling Brutalist tech. So let's put a roach down and then we'll start scaling up. Because if I don't scale up, we're gonna be in a little bit of trouble. Roaches will die to the spin because spin is AoE. Roaches are tiny, so they'll fall to the AoE. Yep. That's what we're against here. Let's see. Does he have a spin on it? I don't know. So if he's gonna spin on me, it's gonna be super bad. Oh god, there's a stack of roaches here. This is the Besieged, boys. Besieged Brawl. I'm gonna drop him in because enemy Abathur dropped him in here. Just gonna mend it up. My queens here not able to take the aggro here really, but uh-oh. So I'm against carry. There we go. Let's see. I think now is the point where I was like, maybe I think I need some more ravagers. I need them to come in a little bit later as well. Into the fight. Man, this Abathur wave is just begging to be destroyed by a bunch of vanguards. But currently a little bit of a tough situation here. A couple of lasagna dropping a shield on the Alarak cannon. I think you can probably put it on here. I think you can overcharge this for permablast. There we go. Because it's a structure that does not die basically, and so overcharge is gonna just always be dropping out DPS here. Banshee's gonna be coming in here pretty helpful. But yeah, we basically have to clean up the stack. We're not cleaning it up too nicely right now. Bunker's gonna get overrun by these Zerglings. What's new, boys? Also, I noticed that. So when I was playing with Inflames in co-op, I noticed that the bunkers are just regular bunkers. Unless maybe Inflames has to give the order for them to move out. Maybe that's why. I don't know. Inflames just sits on the bunkers though, so yeah, I don't know. I think everyone's got their own Sukkot playstyles. I'm assuming that's like one of them. Or maybe you can't get them to move in co-op. I don't know. I don't know. I don't own Stukov. Lamau. We're gonna need a scanner sweep here. There we go. I'll have to get an overseer soon. It'll be like 10 more minutes, and I still don't have an overseer. You know, the classic. Anyways, yeah, look at that another toxic nest. They seem quite potent here. How much damage does it do? Can I just activate it? Can I activate it right now? Anyways, the Ravagers are just gonna go ham on the base. I mean, the base is also contaminated, so it attacks at like. Not only does it attack at half speed, it attacks at half speed a second time. So it actually attacks at like 25% speed. So it's at. Wait. I want to. I want Ravager. That one didn't make it out. Okay, well, we'll just toss that one in the garbage. Toss that one in the garbage. Get a gas. And I'm going to biomass that other one. Surprised Artanis hasn't gone for anything like higher tech, like Archons or something. Well, the game's going to be over now, basically. This week's games are just equally as fast, but just in a different way, boys. Man. Okay. Let's look at the overview here. Oh, wow, how did I deal so much damage again? I feel like honestly blood is probably better than cooldown reduction for Abathur, because you end up with so many like small units that like blood is gonna be quite helpful for them. It's gonna also like mitigate, I guess, against Artanis as well. Artanis needed. Oh god, there's a single high Templar there. He bought too many zealots. You really don't need that many zealots. But yeah, all right. So let's go on to the tier list. All right, and we're back. Let's get right into it. So game plan same per usual. We're gonna look at the auras, overall strategy, and the commander rankings. Let's get right into it. If you guys have made it this far and you're not yet subbed, be sure to drop a sub and drop a like. All right, so Brawl modifiers, just a little refresher. We have Bastion structures of double HP, but they also have no attack speed thanks to sap. And then we have aura. Pick a powerful buff for your team. That's basically it. So I think honestly this week's strategy is you really want to still have an aggressive early game. You still have to like be present because your structures cannot clean up the mess for you. If you're not gonna be present, then you're gonna like you're gonna lose some stuff. And I think timing pushes with commander abilities, if you can like stack them back to back with each other, is gonna be quite potent as well. So here's my rankings. So I think the commanders in the S and A tier all do either timing pushes really well or early game presence really well. So Stukov, I think, can do early game presence pretty nicely. He's got a lot of like, you know, infested boys. You can probably slam them some bunkers. You know, just you can just go pure marine civvies, and then especially if you high roll on a life aura, that could be very, very nice. Raynor and Manx are quite self-explanatory for the Bio Ball strategy. However, they have to rely purely on the Bio Ball power because Stukov can actually contaminate, which will remove the structure's attack speed, which is already slow. It's going to cut it down in half a second time. So basically, Stukov this week just shuts down the building, essentially. You might as well think he shuts down the building. He can also protect his own building by spamming a bunch of broodlings. So I think Stukov, like, just having that ability is just huge. So I think it's going to warrant him to be S tier. Raynor Bio, Manx Bio, very high presence in the early game. Manx you could probably open with a few Aegis guards, really. Maybe just one, maybe not too many. And then you can transition into tanks if you really need to, like, you know, secure, like, do a little late game transition. Commanders in the A tier all have some sort of very high impact ability. So Vorzun's got her Vortex, Karax has got his laser, Artanis has got the shield. Artanis I think is going to be very good if you pair him up with any of the commanders in the S tier for the Bow Ball. And even Abathur can kind of pair well with Artanis as well. Abathur's got his little mend, and he's got 3 stacks of them, right? And so I think weakest one of the A tier would probably be Vorzun this week. But if you get cooldown reduction, you can probably just go Stalker Stacker for, like, you know, like a pretty decently durable army. But other than that, you probably have to go like Corsair DT. That's probably what I'm gonna do, or like Corsair Void Ray, and then run from there. If you get fire though, Corsair and Void Ray is a very good choice because they attack so fast, and they're only weak because they don't have a lot of attack damage. Same idea for Karax. So Karax, if you roll fire, you can definitely roll your air comp really nicely. Karax's Crusher ground comp is really powerful too, like just all his ground units together and a death ball, very powerful. But yeah, Artanis, I think. So I tried like some more Dragoons again, just give them a try, and I realized Dragoons just aren't as great as they are in comparison to co-op. So yeah, I can't find myself building too many of them, and also like you just need some sort of front line, some more durable front line. So yeah, with Artanis, I think it's more about I think Crusher Ground Artanis is pretty good this week. I don't think you can really have space to just rush Tempest. Because it's not like a Bountiful week. It's not like a Stronghold week or anything like that. So you have to have some presence. So you probably have to open like a few, like 1 or 2 Zealots, maybe Dragoons, Archons, Immortals, you know, the like. I think that would be useful. Next with Abathur, I guess what I just did there in this game. Probably just like a nice ground presence. Abathur is gonna be really good, especially if you roll auras. If you roll anything that like benefits lots and lots of units, very good. You know, like what is it? Life, blood, ice. Those are all pretty good. Even earth is okay. Is okay on Abathur. So yeah. In the B tier, we have commanders that are decently strong in some respects, but they might be weak in some other respects. So for example, Phoenix I think has huge potential with a Arbiter micro, just like, you know, suddenly put out Arbiter Phoenix, make your guys invisible, lock up their detectors, and then just like slam them down, right? That's got a huge swing potential. But there's the Phoenix weakness of A, his units are quite costly, so you can't spam him as hard, so you can't benefit from aura as much. And B, Phoenix's air presence, if he is against one of the top powerful air commanders, he's a little bit oofed. He's a little bit oofed in that sense. So yeah, Dahaka I think is also pretty strong. If you could roll the right auras, especially if you go small Dahaka this week, you know, you don't really want to go too specialized Dahaka, like any of his primals. His primal units are quite expensive, and so you can't buy too many of them. Maybe you can get Ravasors in large numbers, but yeah. But that's about it. Like Dahaka just has like a steady presence, and like that, like if that doesn't help him win, then like that's a bit of oof. Nova, I think, has quite expensive units. Well, she's always had quite expensive units, so it's gonna take her a little bit of time to get rolling. If she's if you counter correctly, and you're just gonna have to build slow. I think you can't really force anything with Nova this week. Like before, you could probably force DFG and force your opponents to respond to you, like a pure ground build. But this week you'll probably have to counter a bit more because Nova's units don't benefit from the aura as much because you can't have as many of them. So there's that. Unless you buy Marines, but then also Lamau, you're buying Marines, so you're kind of in a sticky situation from there if your opponents can counter them nicely. So yeah, Han and Horner can defend okay with the Magmines and can do decent job with the like benefiting from the aura if you go like mass Reapers or something. But like other than that, like the transition in the mid game is a little funky. Like your ground units sort of don't scale up, but your air power does. So it's like a little funky transition, and they're quite expensive. So yeah, and then Alarak I think is just survive the early game and transition into large amounts of Wrathwalkers kind of angle for this week. Unless, nah, you don't get enough money from motherships. But yeah, like I feel like that's just the standard Alarak angle. You might have to open Slayers this week, just to have enough presence on the ground. Because before you could just like, you know, sort of sit back and rely on your cannon and then maybe overcharge it a few times, and you'll be fine. But this time, probably not. So in the C tier, we have Kerrigan and Tychus. Kerrigan's here because of her spicy air power, as in sometimes it works really well, sometimes it doesn't work very well. Her ground is pretty strong, I would give you that. So that's really the only reason I have Kerrigan ranked here in the C tier. She does have that one big like disruption wave, which is very powerful. Could use it for timing, especially if your opponents are pure air. But if your opponents are pure air and you're not able to beat them with pure Mutalisk, then you're already in a little bit of a bad position. So there's that. I guess your Hydralisk can benefit very nicely from the auras if you get fire, if you get life, or something like that. So yeah, and then we have Tychus here because Tychus doesn't really benefit too much from the auras, and you really have to know what you're doing this week with Tychus. So you have to like pick carefully and stuff. So unless you know what you're doing, Tychus could just be pretty bad. If you know what you're doing, you could be okay. But yeah, in the D tier we have a Swan, our D tier hero. Cooldown auras could be useful for Swan, but I think just like the early game presence is going to be a little bit tough. You might have to like just slam Hellbats and then push for something like Thor's if you're against large swarms of guys. So it's going to be a little tough. You can't turtle as hard. Swan really needs that time to turtle and get rolling. So a little tough for him this week because of that. But the auras could help out in the sense that you could get cooldown reduction, blood, earth maybe could be helpful. So yeah. Zagar's in the D tier here because, well, Zagar's just doing Zagar things. You could roll life, be very powerful, but it's the scaling factor, and then it's the eventually going into S tier factor too. But I don't know. She doesn't have much interaction besides that. I mean, you could use the attack speed buff on your allies wave, although I've never seen a Zagar do that. You just use it on your own wave, so it just sends it in there and it just explodes everywhere. But yeah. Zagar's like a strange commander to rate. Like right off the bat, D tier. But eventually, like, you know, every 10 minutes in the game that passes, she moves like 2 tiers upwards or something like that. Unless you're against a Haunted Horn, then she's just like oof. But yeah. And then Stepman, I don't know, for this week, he feels kind of weak. You could get some pretty tanky Lings, pretty tanky Ultras. You can get a lot of health regen with the blood and everything. But yeah, I don't know. The Stack Breaker is going to be a little bit weaker. Maybe a little bit weaker if your opponent has some extra life, but you know that just means you have to put more Banes into it. I could probably try Myco some Lurkers or Myco some BCLs, but Stepman's pitiful air presence really deters me from buying BCLs, simply because like Corruptors they're great against Mutalisk, but if your opponents don't have Mutalisk or like Corsairs or Mirages, you're kind of out of luck, basically. So yeah. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below if you think some commanders ought to be higher, lower, and why. But yeah. Until next time, I'll see you guys later.
The tires! Let's light some fires! Need a light. They picked the wrong fight.